dragon. And wood dragon is a very strong energy. Wood dragon, wood is basically the element that has a difficult time bending. It can be obstinate and overly tenacious and overly fixated. So if you have wood in any one of your 4 pillars, this month can be very, very tricky, which is why I have suggested to several of you over these past months, it behooves you to order from me for $10 at least the printout of your 4 pillars. So you can look down and see, oh, phew, no wood. Okay, that's not my main initiation. So you get just a flavor of, what do I need to be less obstinate about this month? And I see we've got a caller on the line, so I'm just going to say hello there and happy Wood Dragon Month. Who's on the line?
Hi, Elaine. It's Nancy. Happy Wood Dragon.
Hi, Miss Nancy. I think you've got some wood in your 4 pillars, if I'm not mistaken. I think you do.
I missed a little bit at the beginning of the show, but I caught, that I've been listening. And so my question is, how much, so for example, I'm going to be looking for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you effort in terms of putting out there or figuring, quote unquote, figuring out what you want, and just allowing the universe to show you what's next?
Very good question. It's where the gal is that actually I opened the show speaking about, because she's in that quandary. The key point here is choosing something that it resonates on some level with joy. I think I'd like that. That feels good. And for example, to use this other woman, she had several things that felt good. And that's probably where you get yourself in hot water. Several things feel good. The deal is, though, one usually has a slightly greater charge or energy field around it. So you pursue that until life, the whole plan itself, says yay or nay.
Okay.
And it does not necessarily mean, you don't get too involved with your head here. Well, this job pays me $10 an hour more than this job. Therefore, I'll go with job A, even though I really don't like anything about that world.
Yeah.
So it's a case of this one feels slightly better. And you pursue it. You give the resume. You go speak with them. You carry in your enthusiasm. And what is yours comes to you easily and effortlessly. So that's a mantra that I would be saying 1,000 times a day, Nancy.
Okay.
What is mine comes to me easily and effortlessly.
Okay.
Does that help at all?
Yes.
Now, one thing, today we have stepped into the shadow side of Mercury. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication. So you want to really make sure you read the fine print. Every I is dotted. But the big thing with retrograde Mercury that could help you now, it often brings things back from a different time zone. So let's suppose you worked at the Gap 2 years ago, and you left because you wanted to pursue a career in merchandising more fully. Yeah. And now you think, well, you know what? That was less complicated. I think I'm going to go back to the Gap and see if they've got anything for me. That's perfect. Now, what's a little more tricky is, I don't know what you're talking about with the Gap. I've never applied to any place like that. Oh, that's got some merit. That would be difficult because there's no seeds that were sown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a case of being very bendable, very movable, and Wood Dragon absolutely opposes that. Wood Dragon says, don't bend me. Don't do it. So I think people are going to have some difficulties this month, actually, being overly opinionated. Do it my way, the right way. And so be very careful. No opinions allowed, no judgment. You want to just float. You just need to just be very, very bendable with your choices. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, then. And let me just tell you one final thing. Yeah, it's in Mercury is in Taurus, which, of course, Taurus says, no, I really am right. Yeah. So there is no right or wrong. And as we drop that kind of thinking, we become naturally more pliable, more movable, without being a mush. I mean, you need a backbone. Mm-hmm. And you need to be able to say, no, that's not for me. And I don't want to work there. That energy field is corrupt, and I don't want that. So it's a fine line. The higher, well, there's no higher or lower, but the more that evolutionary pathway unfolds, the more the spiral becomes spirally, it almost seems that the choices are more subtle and therefore need more consciousness and awareness and flow. Go with the flow. Okay.
I was actually thinking about driving home for a little bit for Easter.
That sounds like a lovely plan. It's the time to do that. It's actually a very good time to do that because look, people. I think I would encourage that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels right to me, and I just thought, well, am I just pushing off getting a job? But it just feels kind of.
It feels right to me too, Nancy. I don't know who needs you up there or what you need, but it feels right.
Okay, yeah, I have somebody who's,
yeah,
who's very ill and,
perfect,
will be passing at some point.
Yeah, perfect. This may be a fine opportunity to say I love you. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah. See,
well,
good for you.
I love you.
I love you too, but good for you for being that flexible to recognize, maybe I don't have to do that right now, because well-meaning friends would say, Nancy, you got to get a job. What are you doing?
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. Or well-meaning family.
Yeah. Well, it's either our friends or our family do us in invariably.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, safe trip. I'm enthused.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy, for calling in. I also want to share something yet again that happened with a friend of mine who phoned in this morning. And if you're listening, Miss Marty, this is devoted to you. I have friends that I call kind of my underground friends. I don't speak of them. They don't call in often. But when they do, it's extremely important. And boy, my antenna goes right up. And Marty is one of these kind of underground players in my life. And so she calls in and she was speaking. She generally speaks to me about a global currency reset button. And she was talking on this morning about this global currency reset. And I'm listening intently because of the information she can share. But I had done a lot of work prior to Marty calling in this morning. And I was very filled up with the presence and the awareness just oozing on out of me. And all of a sudden, as she was speaking, a picture or a sensation really in my inner being seemed to explode through me, where I became the globe, the picture of the earth, okay? That blue ball that scientists show us from outer space, right? And as she was speaking, talking about the global currency, I could see, wait a minute, the current is being reset. Now it's a play on words. And what I was asked to do and asked to share with you is to see yourself exactly as I did. See you turn your body into the earth, spinning on its axis, and float a new current of water all around this sphere, and see the water as clean, clear, crystal clear, and free flowing with no obstacles, because that is shape shifting at its best. So yes, the global currency is being reset, but she and I were also discussing the countries that are way too much wood. There's obstinacy and stickiness, and they are not allowing or permitting this free flow of global currency. And the countries that are involved, they tend to be in their core, in their nationhood, they tend to be obstinate and way too stubborn and militant. However, if you and I can change the current, it's all one under the law of one. The current is the currency. So you and I are asked to envision, ENVISION, and then they showed me envision, INVISION. Any which way will do. But I've begun holding that vision of myself turning into the earth, a complete lovely blue sphere. She's spinning nicely, and I am just circulating clean, fresh streams of water in a lovely pattern all around her. And I will be doing that a lot. And I so encourage you to do it, because where two or more connect and gather energetically, we can pull it off. That is the second coming. In case you missed the second coming, you're it. So the second coming is an out-breath of love. And so why not? Our streams are so polluted on this dear earth. The oceans are polluted. Why can't you and I superimpose a bandwidth of sparkling, illuminated, dancing little beads of light as water? I mean, I can feel it. I can taste it. I can actually almost dip my palm in the water and almost bring it to my mouth and feel the coolness, the cleanness, the freshness of it. And if you want to learn anything more about shape shifting, John Perkins has written a tremendous book, and it's simply called Shape Shifting: Techniques for Global and Personal Transformation. And because we are in month of dragon, you see, all things interlace, intertwine. So before I jump into John Perkins and the month of the dragon, I do hope, Marty, that you are listening, because I thank you with such a chuckle that your simple phrase, global currency reset, triggered such a massive explosion of energy inside of my world. So this is why I just love you, girl. You didn't even know that you were going to trigger such an explosion. And generally, we have no idea what we're triggering for one another. So you do want to be careful that you are operating from a position of authenticity and love. That's the big thing. Matter of fact, here's another quote for the day. Don't try to be loving and spiritual. Just be honest, and you'll automatically be loving and spiritual. So there's no